I have never understood the appeal of streaming. Just how is it popular? How does someone find enjoyment watching something live for 12 hours straight, writing POC in chat, and paying money to them when they are probably more fortunate than you? Just how is that fun? I kind of get small streamers, since the money you donate will actually make a difference in that person's life. And also you'll be able to have a conversation with them and play with them. I just don't get the big ones. The ones that only stream and stream every day. The ones that the chat flows so fast that you can barely keep up with it. You know, I have to admit something. I have to get this off my chest. I hate most of the big streamers. Because for them to get big, they have to be good at making parasocial relationships. But let's back up a bit. For those who don't know, parasocial relationships have changed and evolved. This used to be where fans have a relationship with their favourite celebrities, without the celebrities even realising they're there. This was uncommon like 20-ish years ago, but now, people's careers depend on you having a relationship with them. By me just talking to you in this video, I am indirectly building a relationship with you. Social media has changed. It went from only texting people you are friends with, to people you want to be friends with. For you to be good as a streamer, you have to be good at making one-sided relationships. You may think I am over-exaggerating right now, which I don't blame you, but I am not. There is a game called Needy Streamer Overload, and it's an interesting game. The game revolves around becoming a popular streamer. You don't play as a streamer though, you play as her friend. You are called P-chan. The friend you are helping to get to 1 million followers is called Ame, and her streamer name is K-Angel. You, P-chan, are trying to get her to be popular, which means you basically control her life. The goal of the game is trying to get 1 million followers in 30 days. Since you are her friend, you can moderate the chat and other stuff. You can probably see where I'm going with this. With this power, you can ban anyone from the stream, especially the ones that make negative comments.
Hey, ban the guy that just had his first time chat say it takes 19 years to walk past you.
The fastest way to grow is to interact with the viewers as much as possible, and make them have a parasocial relationship with you. I am not saying being in one stream and putting a message in chat will lead to a parasocial relationship, but I think it's inevitable when you show up every time a streamer streams and interact with them through chat. Watching every stream, donating money to them for them to notice you and conversate with you. From where I am, someone doing that is in a parasocial relationship. Whether they realise it is a different matter. I don't think I need to say this, but the game Needy Streamer Overload is not realistic, but it's more of an extreme case of what may happen. People who don't have many friends in real life will go to online communities to fill that desire. But that's not the only way to fill it. They can also go to streamers and find a community that way. And this is quite likely to happen. Since loneliness seems to be on the rise, how will streamers not become more popular? The loneliest period I, and many of you probably experienced, was probably when COVID struck. everyone was basically locked in their rooms, with barely any social interactions. Is it a coincidence that VTubers and streamers blew up in this period? Needy streamer overload has 4 metrics: follower count, stress, affection, and mental darkness. Obviously, follower count is in the biggest fonts. These levels change constantly as the streamer streams and interacts with the chat. The ending you get is usually determined by these levels at the end of the game. Your mood, your livelihood, is determined by how others see you. Wanting to be a streamer full-time is hard. In fact, in the game there aren't many good endings. Parasocial relationships happen without the victim even realizing it. It starts off slow. You watch them every day, and you're also part of their community, usually chatting about how great the stream was. What people fail to realize is having a parasocial relationship is more of a spectrum. It's not about whether you have a relationship or not. It's more about how invested you are in the streamer. There is a Ludwig video called I Am Not Your Friend, and that is good. A streamer making their viewers aware of parasocial relationships. But what Ludwig fails to realise is for you to have an audience and keep it, you must make some sort of relationship with them. If you don't, someone else will. If you watch a streamer stream every day, you're in their community. You tell your mates how great the stream was. I would say that you're quite high on the relationship spectrum. And also, you're in a cult. That was a joke. But the similarities are there if you look for it. Making a video about not forming a relationship while simultaneously streaming every day is a bit hypocritical in my opinion. Have you heard of Paris syndrome? Or as the French like to call it, Paris syndrome. If you haven't, the cause for this syndrome is severe culture shock. People envision Paris as this nice place full of romance, but when they find out in person that it's not, they enter a state of shock. There is a disconnect between what they imagined and the reality. Does this sound familiar? Because of this disparity, the symptoms include a rapid heart rate and dizziness. Almost all big streamers play an exaggerated version of themselves on stream. Every time they stream, they do wacky things constantly to keep engagement. Isn't that a little deceptive? You're trying to make people like a version of you that doesn't exist, albeit super exaggerated. I said before there is a lot of bad endings in the game Needy Streamer Overload. Some of them, you don't even make it to the end goal you set out to do. And unfortunately, that is the reality. Only the top 1% make it. Maybe even less. If you class making it as earning above minimum wage. But you wouldn't know that, would you? About 72% of people who stream make no money. 15% make below $25. If the only people you see are the successful ones, then it may skew your reality of how easy it is to become a streamer. Survivorship bias is at play.
But you'll have seen all the creators in every genre on YouTube talking about burnout. Your dream job can still be a nightmare if you don't have a backup plan.
There are different kinds of streamers. A big one is VTubers. But unfortunately, the reality of VTubers is very similar to streamers. Ironically, probably the best ending in the game is where you never make it big and live a normal life. The worst endings are probably where you become too obsessed with the number of views you get, and you make that your personality. There is this game called Content Warning. It's a fun little game where a group of you go to scary places to get views. It's quite a funny game, not meant to be taken too seriously. And the game is a bit ridiculous. The scarier things you capture, the more views you get. This kind of parallels our world a bit, doesn't it? People do stupid stuff all the time to get attention and views, whether that be good or bad. They live by the phrase, all publicity is good publicity. This leads them to do more stupid things.
Hey, stop, bro. Hey, yo. Do not die, bro. Hey, bro, do not die. Yo. Hey, do not die, bro. Bro.
The cycle never ends. One guy got shot by doing these stupid pranks. And you would think he would have learned his lesson. But nope. He wants to do more pranks. Probably claiming being shot was the best thing to happen to him, because he got media coverage. There are cases of parasocial relationships going too far. There are cases where fans would message the streamers on a daily basis and want to interact with them. These fans obsess about the streamer. This is obviously not good. But unfortunately, that's the reality if you have a big following. If you stream every day, forming a parasocial relationship is not just a risk, it's an inevitability. And that's only if you make it. The more likely outcome is you don't. And if that happens, you will either have to quit or become a channel where doing inherently stupid stuff gets you views. With the rise of loneliness, these relationships will only increase. Some streamers are profiting off this loneliness, and I find that to be criminal. And unfortunately, the internet can't fully fix your loneliness. It goes from watching a streamer you enjoy, to you being reliant on them for your social interactions. VTubers from VTuber agencies are not allowed to say if they are in a relationship. In fact, they are encouraged to lie. Sometimes, these VTubers are forced into making parasocial relationships. This is so they can make more money off these desperate people. This is a bit similar to how OnlyFans works. You can pay to message someone, and OnlyFans is quite successful. Not only are individuals profiting off loneliness, but so are big corporations. VTubers from these corporations are sometimes forced into doing this, because if they don't make enough money, they are axed. Or should I say, graduate. These corporations generally get in loads of trouble, seeing people as products and not much more. Do you know what idols are? They are this big thing in the Eastern world, where a group of people go around traveling to concerts performing. These idols are usually part of agencies, and they have strict rules, like don't get a boyfriend, and don't share your real identity. These idols have devout fans, and there are cases where these fans have parasocial relationships with them. VTubers are a natural progression of this, and they try to parallel this. Did you know VTubers do live shows as well? The live chat basically acts as the audience. The reality of VTubers is very similar to streamers. Those models they use cost quite a bit to animate and rig. Also, most successful VTubers are part of agencies. not only do you fail with a massive hole in your wallet. At some point in this video, I said something about being in a streamer's community is basically like being in a cult. Although I did play it off as a joke, let's go through the similarities. Let's put your favourite VTuber in the firing range and fire some shots at them. Cults use special terminology to make you feel more like you're part of the community. Wait, don't VTubers do that? Cults have charismatic leaders. Charisma is a personality trait most streamers have. Sometimes it can be very hard to leave a cult. If you invest time and money into a streamer, due to the sunk cost fallacy, leaving the streamer can be especially difficult. FOMO is also at play here. In the first episode of Oshinoko, we see an obsessed fan killing an idol after he found out that the life she lived was a lie. After realizing what he'd done, the fan then... Although this is an extremely dark show, there is some truth to it. There was a case in real life where a streamer's car got set on fire by a viewer. This viewer drove 700 miles. There are even more cases where streamers are being subjected to stalking. Maybe this is the reason why people want to be a VTuber. Streamers usually stream at the same time, every day. This is so they can form a habit of you, the viewer, so you watch their stream. Once the habit is formed, you're more likely to watch them. Same reason why some mobile games give login bonuses every day. Once you form a habit, it can be especially hard to break your streak. Once you are in a streamer's community and you are a part of it, it can be especially hard to leave. In the game Needy Streamer Overload, Ame takes drugs because she has a fear that if her real self got exposed, no one would like her. Her streamer self, K Angel, is an overexcited, fun to be around streamer. Her real self is depressed, emo, drug addicted loser. No one would like that. She is so obsessed with her follow account that she used it as some sort of drug. She is obsessed with it. Instead of any other drug where you can get high on command, this drug is tied to how much people like you. And eventually, there is a limit. I probably don't need to reiterate this, but the games and media I talked about are a bit unrealistic and are mostly exaggerated, but they are based on the real world, and that should not take away the message of what these games are trying to say. Forming relationships, doing things for views, chasing clout, they are all real things. I quite like listening to songs made by VTubers. In fact, I'm not even saying it's bad to watch them. Just remember, they can never substitute for real friends. In the game Needy Streamer Overload, the biggest plot twist comes when you get a specific ending. At the beginning of the video, I said you don't play as Ame, you play as her friend, texting her and basically controlling her. That was a lie. In one ending you find out you are not real. P-chan is not real. It was just an imaginary being made up by Ame. Some people watch streamers because they lack friends in real life. The same can be said about streamers with the viewers. Ame was streaming and obsessed over her following. Not because she wanted more money, but because she wanted more attention, which is the thing she lacks. In one of the endings, in her very last stream, she tore off the mask She went to the stream as Ame. No wig, no makeup, no different personality. She exposed herself, so no one else could. Her biggest fear, the fear of people not liking her, did not come true. She smoked on stream and didn't say much. But people still liked her. She never streamed again. Probably years later, a thread got posted talking about K-Angel, and instead of the thread being filled with negativity, it was mostly positive. Ame has built some kind of a cult following. In one comment, it reads, K-Angel, the only real streamer out there. We are all somewhat obsessed with these relationships. Content creators want to make them, and the average person wants to have them. By seeing all parasocial relationships as bad, you miss the point in why people want to form them in the first place. In a world that is more divided than ever, some of us could use more friends.